Watch along with live events, submit your own summer gaming moments, reactions, and plays. Make sure to also leave us a yappa in the video comments of IGN.com, and you may just wind up on the show. That is it for this speed run, but we will be back at 5 o'clock for another. Also, make sure there's the ticker right there. You can donate all day. Just because I'm not here doesn't mean you can't donate. That's it for now, guys. It's time for IGN Expo number 4, the last one. Bye. Enjoy.
Welcome to IGN's Summer of Gaming Expo. We're rounding up brand new gameplay, next-gen first looks, and got the developers to unpack the secrets behind their latest projects exclusively here on IGN. Fourth meal, The Four Musketeers, Godfather 4. The number 4 is synonymous with an extra helping of goodness, so we couldn't help but wrap up our IGN Expo showcase with just 3. It's time for the kick-ass post-credit sequence you didn't know you were going to get, and today's helping is the biggest one yet. In addition to plenty of brand new trailers and announcements, we'll be getting hands-on with some highly anticipated games, like SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, or The New World, Amazon's upcoming MMORPG. And those are only the titles we're allowed to mention. There's so much more we're intentionally hiding from you, on purpose. So strip down to your skivvies, crank up the heater, and throw some sand on the floor, because IGN's Summer of Gaming Expo 4 starts right now.
This is IGN Expo 4, part of IGN's Summer of Gaming. We're about to showcase a ton of exclusive trailers and brand new gameplay. I'm Sydney Goodman, here with Max Scoville and Damon Hatfield.
Thanks, Sid. Happy to kind of be here via webcam. You can watch all of our Summer of Gaming content wherever you stream IGN or live on your TVs by tuning into IGN One on your Samsung TV Plus. Also, all Summer of Gaming long, IGN is asking you to give to the World Health Organization and the Bail Project in support of Black Lives Matter. The COVID-19 Response Fund is dedicated to studying, tracking, and combating the coronavirus pandemic. The Bail Project is a nonprofit that pays bail for people in need, reuniting families and restoring the presumption of innocence.
And by donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. And donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X. Be sure to click the donation links in the description of your video player or go to donate.ign.com for more information on how and where to give.
For even more Summer of Gaming goodness, download the TikTok app, follow IGN, and check out the IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag, where you can watch along with live events, submit your very own Summer of Gaming moments, reactions, and plays. Or leave us a yappa in the comment section of IGN.com, and your yap could wind up on the stream.
Now, let's get the expo rolling with today's crop of fresh trailers, only here at IGN Expo 4.
have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. Take a look at this wondrous place. Complete strangers brought together by the fates to live out our days in a paradise we can never leave. And in all our time together, not a single crime has been committed. Our bond is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. Every moment we're walking on eggshells, and I have grown more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. Someone is about to break the Golden Rule. I need you to talk to my people, help them win their trust, figure out who is about to end our lives. And by any means necessary, stop them. If all else fails, and our darkest fears are realized, I will use my dying breath to give you a second chance. The fate of this city is in your hands.
Fight Crab. Heck yeah. Later on today, we'll be taking a real deep dive into all things SpongeBob, the Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, hosting yet another charity speedrun, and sharing a special Xbox One X update on smart delivery. Plus, our News, Games, and More crew will be sharing our IGN Icons interview with Tony Hawk, not to mention Chad Michael Collins of Sniper fame guesting tomorrow.
That's all just around the corner, but right now, Tom Marks is going to give us a closer look at 30XX, a roguelike action platformer you can play with a friend. Tell us more, Tom.
Welcome back to check out this game on IGN Summer of Gaming, highlighting exciting, under-the-radar games worth your attention. As a sequel to the excellent 20XX, the aptly named 30XX keeps the original's infinitely replayable roguelike Mega Man concept, but expands it in just about every way imaginable. Check out some exclusive new gameplay from 30XX's Clock Tower themed level.
Like what you see? Then head on over to IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN to watch the full extended version of this gameplay.
Going under the sea for a very exciting adventure with Martin Kreischer, producer from THQ Nordic. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we have you for a very exciting remaster that I know myself and so many people in this community are very excited for. We're going to talk about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Exactly. So it's the remake of the 2003 classic 3D platformer set in the SpongeBob universe. Probably, arguably, the most beloved SpongeBob game of all times.
I mean, you're not gonna get any arguments from me. Did you guys anticipate the excitement for Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated? Because like, it is kind of insane how I know people in my office as well were just like freaking out. I mean, I know this is something that I played a lot as a kid, and I adored this game. And like hearing that it's coming back in like a gorgeous remaster like this is super exciting.
We did anticipate it to a degree. I think on that level of excitement is always something you hope for, but not 100% anticipate, because you know, after all, it's a genre that some may say that for adults isn't, you know, it's not what you play regularly. But I think that's also the strength. There is not that many 3D platformers out there on all these platforms, and it's just one of the best ones that was ever made. And there's just also not that much next-gen content that features SpongeBob, and he's just one of the most beloved characters of all time. So I think this all came together to create this amazing momentum this wave we're riding. And yeah, we're just very happy that the fans are happy, that the fans of the original, of the series, that everybody's happy and excited, and looking forward to being able to give this to the players.
I think one of the coolest things about this game, too, is that it really touches on a point in SpongeBob history that everyone really loves and is fond of. And, of course, kind of like the originals, like SpongeBob is still going. And I know in previous interviews you guys said that you're trying to incorporate some of like the more modern art style as well and bring a little bit more vibrancy to this, correct?
Yes. So basically the game is from around season 2. So this is really the golden age where Steven Hillenburg was still helming the series, who unfortunately passed away, the creator of SpongeBob. And we updated, of course, the art style to the way that current also children experience SpongeBob. And we added little hints to newer seasons, little, you know, like handsome Squidward or stuff like this. So the classics from later episodes. But the story and all the setting and everything is really from that time.
And that's honestly just such like a great way to merge both fandoms. I guess like the older and the newer, because you know the diehard old fans are just probably rewatching the first 3 or 4 seasons and then calling it a day. But there's so much more to SpongeBob. I actually was watching it recently just to kind of like see like where's SpongeBob these days, and he's still in a really great place. So it's cool to see that you guys have found like really fun ways to integrate both. So right now we are looking at this level, Downtown Bikini Bottom. It's really good to see it in all of its glory. So I'm actually originally from Texas, and I know we're not at the Texas part yet, or the sandy part. So I was super excited to see her in action, and of course swinging on the little Texas symbols throughout the level. What do you guys like about this level in particular?
Well, first of all, it's the first moment where you, as you say, can actually experience Sandy with all her cool skills and her lasso and all this kind of stuff. So this is actually also the first time we're showing this in a big way. And because she's basically, I think combat-wise, she's probably the best character in the game. With her lasso, she can lasso people from far away and all this kind of stuff. So this is pretty exciting about it. And apart from that, it's also one of the most iconic locations because it's just it's downtown Bikini Bottom. So it's the houses that you just, you know, they're ingrained in your mind from watching the series. These are those typical metal houses that look a bit as if they were built from broken submarines and stuff like this. And I think now with the higher fidelity of an Unreal Engine 4, of modern consoles and modern PCs, you can really, it's on a whole different level, this kind of feeling of really walking through Bikini Bottom, like really walking through this world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like even though it's not necessarily a one-to-one creation with all of like the episodes, because that Downtown Bikini Bottom definitely changes between the episodes, it is nice to feel like that there are those iconic spots like that where SpongeBob's hall monitor, and we got the Weeboos in the corner in the dark. Like you can just like imagine where that would take place here, and it's really cool to see that. You've said in previous interviews that Purple Lamp has dug into some of the cut content from the original and built it for Rehydrated, like the robust Squidward boss. What's the most exciting new addition to Rehydrated?
Well, I think overall it's the new multiplayer mode. So basically, we were kind of faced with this challenge of, okay, how do you keep a beloved and revered classic the way it was, and still try to bring back these things without them interfering with the basic single-player experience of that people remember. And so we basically took a lot of this cut content that was sometimes concept art, or it was an unfinished level that you could, sneak into if you hacked the old game. And we took that and put it all into this multiplayer where 2 players can often online play together as 7 different characters from the SpongeBob universe, and you just fight against hordes and hordes of robots. So I think this is the biggest new feature by far, because it basically includes a lot of little hints to all these cut content. For example, Robo Squidward, who's basically your boss in the multiplayer.
I feel like that's such a great way to reincorporate those things, like, again, to keep the fidelity of like that original feeling, like not to like really mess with the story too much, but to give something entirely new that doesn't really impact the core game. And I think that's such a great way to do that. So the multiplayer is a horde mode. How hard is it?
Well, it depends. It depends on. I think the thing is that it's about like 26 islands, if I have it correct in my mind. So it's quite a long challenge to get to the end, and basically each island, it gets harder and harder. At some point, Robo Squidward starts attacking you, and all these kind of things. So the first few islands are not going to be a big challenge for anybody who's used to playing these kind of video games, but it does progressively get harder and harder and harder. And to reach the very last island, you do need to have some stamina and some good skills.
It's really cool that you guys brought in so many of the characters too. Who was the most difficult to design for multiplayer?
Well, I have to speak for the developer there a little bit, but I think it's since they have all the everybody has one normal attack and one dash attack, and then it was mainly also about deciding what kind of little differences are between the characters. For example, that Squidward, it just made sense to give him a distance attack because we wanted him to fight with his clarinet, with his oboe, and so it was more about actually the decision, where do we take the animations, the fight, the move set from. So Mr. Krabs fights with this swordfish skull from the episode where he's on that cemetery. And if you play Gary, which for me is the funniest one to play, you grow this huge 50s shoes that he sometimes has in the series, or he gets a frying pan in his mouth and you whack the robots with it. So I think a lot of thought went into this to really make sure that even those little moves that you have in the multiplayer, that you recognize them from some of the episodes, from the cult episodes.
I love that. It's like really putting in that thought to make it something that's not just fun, but also really harkens to those really big moments or just like small details that you might have forgotten. And I just love that. It kind of just proves how much they care about SpongeBob, which is like maybe weird to say, but like getting into those details for that just means I think a lot to the fans who will be probably playing this. Especially, I also think it's very funny that Squidward would fight with his clarinet, but it also makes sense. I am actually a clarinet player as well, and Squidward kind of kills me even though I love him. And, you know, I think it's fine that he's fighting with his clarinet, and if it gets destroyed along the way, it's probably okay.
Yeah, I think that's, because the first instinct, just from gaming perspective, would maybe be to, find the just coolest, most bombastic move. But then when you look at the series, there's so many little funny details, so many crazy details. And this kind of wackiness, I think, is what is part of why it's so beloved around the world. And so we basically then just realized it's just much funnier if you try to find something that people remember from a certain episode, and that just you're not gonna see in any other video game. You're not gonna see in any other game a little snail stomp on somebody with shiny leather shoes. That can only happen to you in the world of Bikini Bottom.
That is absolutely true, and I love it. So I heard you guys brought speedrunner Shift to play Rehydrated. What sort of feedback did you guys get from him from this?
Yeah, basically he was kind enough to fly over to Vienna, where the studio and also THQ Nordic, we the publisher, are based, and just play the game actually at the stage it was back then with the developer and give his insights, since nobody I think on the planet has played more Battle for Bikini Bottom, and he just knows so many shortcuts, so many little design choices, so many little techniques how you can get around somewhere fast, or where you could actually also kind of fool the game. And so all of these things basically went into it, and apart from that, obviously he just knows a lot about camera, movement, animation, of just since as a speedrunner, you know, anything that kind of trips you up is a pain in the Bikini Bottom. So those were basically the things that he, I think, was able to contribute a lot. And apart from that, we just love watching his videos and, you know, seeing all the of him and the other guys, of all the speedrunners out there and the fans, to just see what they are excited about and whether we are concentrating on the right things, or whether we were concentrating on the right things.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. We look forward to seeing so much more SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated here soon.
We have to take a quick break, but stay tuned for an inside look at the new game, New World's new mode, War Mode. It's all new. We'll take an even closer look at Amazon's New World later on, plus we'll get our hands on SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated with an exclusive Let's Play, so if you liked what you just saw, there's more where that came from. It is a complete remaster of a beloved 3D platformer, and I, for one, can't wait.
The ad break is a great time to donate to the Bail Project or COVID-19 Response Fund, which you can do at donate.ign.com or by following the links in the video description. By donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. Donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One S.
And don't forget to follow IGN on TikTok. You can search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for exclusive bonus clips and to upload your own best gameplay moments. That's all we got for right now. We'll be right back.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th, rated M for mature. By the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat. Welcome back to IGN's Expo number 4. Do you remember when you do that? Oh wait, that's not 4. It's fine. Where we're premiering the latest game trailers and getting you first looks at fresh new gameplay like New World. New World is a game designed to be played with other people, and War Mode allows for epic 50v50 action. So we sent in Mitchell Salzman and Nick Lamone to fight for opposite sides of a 50v50 match. And let us know what it's like on the front lines. Let's play New World War Mode with Nick and Mitchell.
Where's Mitchell? Oh, I killed Mitchell! I sniped him!
Burning oil, here we go. Yeah! Oh no!
Yeah! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Mitchell Saltzman, joined by Nick Lamone.
How's it going, everyone?
And also, Mike and David from Amazon Game Studios.
Afternoon, everyone.
What's up?
And today, we're going to be doing a Let's Play of the War Mode in New World, a game that's coming out rather soon, actually. So, Mike, Dave, why don't you give us a quick walkthrough of what this mode is?
Yeah, so War Mode is how we determine who owns a territory. So when one company owns a territory, another can declare war on it, and then they fight it out in a 30-minute battle. As an attacker, your goal is to first capture the 3 points around the fort. Once those are captured, then you breach the walls, and then go in and try to capture the flag.
So as a defender, we don't like Dave and his team doing that. So what we're going to try to do is prevent them from taking those capture points by setting up our own siege weaponry, which we set up through town projects and various other things. But we want to keep those up, and we want to stop them at all costs from taking those points. Because if they take those points, then they'll be able to batter down our gates and then eventually try to take the fort itself.
All right, and Nick and I are going to be on separate teams. We're going to be coached by Mike and Dave. Dave is going to be on my team. Mike is going to be on Nick's team. And Nick, I like you a lot. I just want to say that.
Don't lie to me, Mitchell.
No, this is true.
No need to lie on camera.
This is true, Nick. I like you a lot. But as much as I like you, I like winning more. And I hope you're going to be okay with that. I hope we can still continue to be friends after this.
We'll see.
All right, so this time we're on the attacking side. So you'll see once the gates open, now our job is to try to capture all 3 points to unlock the doors. So.
All right, I'm following you, David. So wherever you go, I will go with, unless, and this is a very, bolded unless, if I see Nick and his dumb little face.
I'm a tanky boy.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go and follow my heart.
So what we want to do is defend the control points. Now we want usually anti-infantry weapons. So basically we'll want to use like the repeaters. We'll use the cannons and ballistas against their siege weapons, because that's what's going to do more of the structural damage.
Where are you at?
Let's see. I am at the very top of the structure. I see you. I'm dropping down. And so anytime we want to enter or exit a gate, when we're ready to go and we unleash hell,
to war,
we'll press E to open.
Oh, I have to hit E. All right, I'm still following you. This is still good.
Here we go.
All right, don't be distracted. We're going to the point.
All right.
So as we stay on the point, we'll start to capture.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of them on top of B. We got to get in there.
Yeah, there is.
All right, we're halfway there. Stay on point.
Definitely need our healers up front. Oh, we lost B.
All right, we got B. I'm going to tell the army to go for C now.
So that means they can go through our main gate, right?
Not yet. They need to take more control points.
All right, head towards C. I'll meet you there.
Head towards C. Oh, God, I'm getting hit. Leave me alone.
I'm going to go to A since I don't see anyone there.
All right, I'm heading towards you. I only see a small handful. There's still people fighting around that main control point. That's fine. It's fine. Let them do that.
I keep missing my siphon on you. It's still helpful. Ah!
We're looking strong at C.
A's looking pretty clear as well. They're too quiet, though. I don't like it.
All right. I'm gonna buy a couple Inferno traps and place them around here.
Okay, same. I'll do that as well.
There's so much going on right now.
It's a quarter of the way.
Okay, I see them coming to A.
Okay, so you can't build directly in the circle, but you can build around it. Oh, good
right,
melt,
so
good melt.
Their bowman's down.
I can't block forever.
Oh, I got you. Oh, run.
I'm running.
Ah, nice. I'm right behind you. You're safe.
Okay.
Drink a potion. One more. And then let's head towards A.
All right, where's A?
I'm just in front of you.
Oh, they got C, so everyone on A. All right, good. We took that down.
I'm going to A right now.
If you need an auto run, just hit equals.
I haven't
Don't
seen
be
Nick
tempted.
anywhere yet.
Yeah, unless we see Nick.
There's Alpaca, B-Space, Snickerdoodle.
Oh, focus on nice shot. That one's almost dead. Ah, man. Missed. Oh, man, everyone's raining down over here. It's getting wild.
Leave me alone. Oh. Backstabbers. It's Nick! Oh, Nick's killing me! Help me!
Where is he?
I don't want to die to Nick!
Drag him back over towards A.
Come on, Nick! Full life, you got nothing!
Ooh. I'm getting wrecked right now. Okay, I'm retreating.
Oh, he's running.
Oh, you're running? Where you running from?
Going back. Oh no, I'm a dead stuffler.
Oh, he's down.
Where'd he go? Did I lose him?
Right here. Oh, I just got a message. Killed Advent Nick.
I got taken out. All right, David V. I'm taking this seriously now. As long as Mitchell didn't do it, it's fine.
Well, it was worth it in the end, but I think I'm going down right here. I gotta run. Ow! Oh, I'll take it.
David V. got the last poke in.
Oh, Dave?
I'll remember that.
Oh no, I'm down.
Oh no.
All right, David V. I'm coming for you. This is what you get. There you go.
Oh, he's
there.
dead.
You go. How do you like that, huh?
Oh no, killed by Advent Nick.
Oh no.
The retaliation.
All right, back in.
Get
Killed
that
Fade.
back line.
Oh, I see Nick. Put him down a heal right here.
All right, up in the right corner of your screen, you'll see how many battle tokens you have. If you need
132.
go ahead and buy some either Chase Elixir, which is really good, or I'm sorry, Cleansing Elixir, just in case you get slowed.
We'll try to hang back. If we can clear this guy out of here, I can try to put some siege damage on him.
Oh shoot.
All right, I'm gonna try to. Very close.
All right, fade down.
Good. I need 4 more tokens to get another siege barrel. Once you get a barrel, see if you can get up close by those weapons up top.
Gotcha.
We need to take those out.
We just shoot these powder kegs.
Yeah, once they're right, you can either shoot them or ignite them, like walking up to it and interacting with E, and then it'll set down a timer. If you shoot them, it's like instantaneous.
Fuse is lit. There you go.
So do you think I should be in the thick of it, or should I be hanging back and dropping just fireballs?
Well, we need a mix. You can't capture it unless there's people on it. So if you lay down fire, I'll hop on the point.
All right, I'll try laying down some fire.
Oh boy, that's a lot of fire.
Oh, I see him.
Oh, it's Nick. Go away. Come on.
Oh, he's retreating.
Leave me alone.
I'm gunning specifically for him right now.
Oh, dang it.
Got him.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mitchell. I had to do it.
Just like Nick. Come after someone who's already weak.
I'm happy. Mitchell's gone.
How much time do we have left?
14 minutes. We're a bit behind. We should be working on the gates right now. So.
Oh man, A's not looking so good now. We seem to giving them an inch.
Time to breach.
All right, so let's start from C. I see you. I'm coming to you.
Yeah, help me get Simon War out of here.
All right, get to those supply generators.
Oh yeah, I gotta get back inside.
Move on to the gate.
So now we just have to put damage on this gate?
Yep, put damage on the gate, and once this is clear, next time around, I'll bring up a cannon and build one to help take it down quicker.
Okay.
All right, I'm back in. Supply generators. got this. We got this.
And also with your tokens, buy some Inferno traps. Do I have any? Yes, I do. All right.
Good call.
So set up Inferno traps next to like the entrances.
Knock, knock, knock.
They're all just trying. Oh my gosh, the side of our castle has so many Inferno traps. I love it. I gotta add one more just for posterity.
Oh. Does this have ammo? Yeah. Burning oil. Here we go. Yeah. Oh no! Good shot.
Oh, there's Mitchell. Oh, I killed Mitchell. I sniped him.
Oh.
Victory! Yay! Well done.
You go rub that in Mitchell's face.
David, be honest with me. Where did we go wrong?
In many different places. What I'd like to focus on, though, is the number of times we killed Advent Nick. That was a positive.
You know what? That's fair. I think we at least got him twice. I know he got me at least once. Maybe more. I'm not going to give him any more credit, though. All right, David, we've changed a couple things up. We got smoked that first round. I've completely changed everything that I did last time. I'm going for a melee class this time. I got a hammer. I got a sword. We're on offense. What else do you think we can do to try and shift the tide in our favor and at least tie it up?
I think this time we're just going to stand on that point, and anyone that enters the circle, we're going to jump on them and put the full force behind them.
You know, enter my circle. I like it.
Don't forget to eat.
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder. All right, going B.
Which one are we starting for? Are we going for A?
I say we go right down the middle again. That worked out well. Go to B.
All right, I'm going to B. Getting on the point. Getting on there.
We need a lot of people on.
Get out of my circle!
Oh, we almost have it. We almost have it.
Oh God! Everything sucks.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
All right, I'm going to C.
Oh, they got it. Want to go to C?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, if they're going to C, then let's go A.
A is looking rough, but I don't think we'd get there in time.
Yeah, I think at this point we stay here.
Nice. All right, just to C now.
Canizia, why don't you come into my circle? Ooh, got a headshot there.
Oh man, there's a lot of them at C already. Ooh.
Oh, don't say all in on C in general chat.
Trying to lead him. Got him.
All right, I'm back on point. A lot of red people coming in.
All right, I got Canizia down.
All right, I'm going to go and get some anti-infantry weapon. So we can try to take C.
Alrighty.
Going back on point. Oh boy.
Here it comes. Boom.
Nice.
Oh, I hit a ton of people
nice.
on that one.
Great.
Yeah, look at it. Let him disperse.
Where's Nick? Where's he hiding?
I know. Why isn't he on the point? I got this guy also.
Irish Pride? Yeah.
Reviving. Ah, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, every time I try to get in on someone, I just get destroyed. I'm getting rocked right now.
That last one's always the toughest.
Oh yeah.
Alright, we gotta get that repeater right here.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna sneak around to the right.
Going for it.
We need to fight on the circle.
Fighting. Oh man. Getting bullied.
Oh, is that Nick? Oh, I see Nick!
Oh no, Mitchell's got me. I can't let him kill me.
Oh, I'm gonna get him. He's hiding in the fire.
Oh no, Mitchell's gonna get me. No.
Oh, he's dead. I can taste it.
Anyone but him.
Where are you going? Where are you going, Nick?
Oh no, he's got me. No, I can't let that happen. He's dancing on my body.
Yeah.
Okay, we can play that game.
All right. Oh God, I hope that didn't cost us the point.
We're losing it quick. Get back on.
I'm back.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was absolutely worth it.
All right, get on C. No one's here.
We're starting to lose C. I may pull back if I were you.
Oh, I see Mitchell. Oh, he's running. There you go.
Oh boy. That's it for me.
Fire everywhere.
Hold strong. Oh no!
Almost got it. Almost got it.
Get on circle.
Oh no, it's going down. No.
All right, we're pushing them back.
Oh, we were so close.
Get off my point. All right, I was looking dicey for a second there, but I think we got it.
I think we're back.
I'm gonna get. They're building 2 of these. I got one of them down dead.
Oh, I see it. I see Nick.
Oh, it was Nick. Oh, and he's dancing. He's dancing on my grave. Hey guys, stop that.
Not looking good for the home team here.
No, this is rough.
So what's like the good combo that you guys mentioned earlier? It's like 2 slashes, shield bash, and then while they're stunned, you can use a strong attack and then cancel that into something else.
Yeah, if you've got the spin swipe, the spin stab, that's a great one to cancel the heavy into after the stun.
I'm cheering about Nick's death here. Sorry.
There we go. I like that.
Do you think we should retreat?
You know, I'm going to try using the turrets a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
Give them a chance. Feel bad for old Mike and Nick.
Oh, we did it.
It's a regular Christmas miracle.
You know what? I don't feel anything because it's just...
Oh, I feel Mitchell. I sniped him.
Karma as far as I'm concerned.
Trying to go from behind.
Oh, he's running. He's running. He's at a 3rd health.
All right, well, at this point, I'm going to go hunting. Oh, I see Nick. Oh, I see him. He's all the way at the back. He's on a cannon. Get in the ground where you belong.
He's running. He's running.
Where you running? And he's down. Oh, perfect. Oh, how poetic that was.
Well, you win one, you lose one.
All right, guys. Well, that is War Mode in New World. Nick, we went 1-1. So, you know, I'm glad at least, even if I didn't win, I'm glad that we went neck and neck in there. And I just have to say, you know, you did great. And Mike, Dave, thank you guys so much for being such excellent coaches. And Nick, I am sorry for dancing on your grave.
Yeah! You're so mean, Mitchell.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now that you've seen what New World is all about, let's join Sid and one of the game's developers to find out more about this ambitious project from Amazon.
And now we get to talk about a brand new game called New World. And here to talk to me about it, we've got Mike Willett and Dave Verifai. Hi, guys. Welcome.
How's it
Thanks,
going?
Sydney. Great to be here on the Summer Gaming.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. So let's just start at the top. For people who don't know, what kind of game is New World? What can players expect when they get their hands on this?
Yeah, New World is an open world MMO. It's set in the age of exploration in the 17th century on this beautiful but dangerous island called Eternum. It's got this great blend of directed content with quest chains and deep story, as well as lots of opportunity for emergent gameplay with open world systems like the territory control system, a player-driven economy, housing. And underneath that all is this really cool action-based combat system and deep progression that sort of keeps the moment-to-moment gameplay fun and engaging.
Mm-hmm. And so how does New World set itself apart from other fantasy MMOs? I know you kind of started outlining some of the things, but if you want to get a little bit deeper, maybe into the combat aspect.
Yeah, the action-based combat is a really cool element of the game. It's a system where skill really matters. Positioning and timing is super important to the combat. It's a physical-based combat system, so your swings actually have to connect with an enemy to register a hit. There's also a lot of defensive options, so it creates this really sort of cool dance between the attacker and the defender where there's momentum during the battle. And it's a really sort of strategic system also where your gear choices, how you sort of specialize your combat abilities all makes a big difference in how combat plays out.
Hmm. Now, how did you determine which typical MMO conventions to keep and what you and your team wanted to innovate on?
Yeah, I think, MMO players have certain expectations. I think a big part of the game that everyone likes is the sort of progression systems, leveling up your character, seeing that advancement of your character, both in terms of their abilities and their gear and all that. So those are parts that we really wanted to keep. We also like the sort of the stories that MMOs tell, and New World I think has some great story and quests behind it that Mike and his team have worked on a lot. He can dig into those. So those we really wanted to keep, but on top of it, we really wanted to add a little more open world elements and opportunities for players to create their own stories in the game. And that's where things like the territory control system, where players can take over one of the 11 territories in the game and sort of own that territory. They can set their own tax rates. They sort of act as governor of the territory, and that creates really cool storylines where different people want to overthrow governors that they don't like. And the battles and wars that come out of it are really, that's what we're seeing in the B-roll here right now, are some of the epic moments in the game, these large-scale battles. They're 50-on-50 battles where one team is trying to siege the fort while the other team is trying to push them back and hold off in defense.
Yeah, I'm so glad you referenced this B-roll because what we're watching is War Mode, correct? Can you maybe tell us more about what exactly War Mode is?
Yeah, so War Mode is how we determine who controls the territories in New World. So as a territory is, when a territory is in a neutral position, we start something called influence race. What that means is there's 3 factions in the game. And one of the factions that doesn't own the territory can try to put the territory in a conflicted state by doing these PvP missions. So it's basically a race between the 2 factions that don't own the territory to see who gets the right to declare war on that faction. And when that happens, once the territory goes into a contested state, then we see the war that actually is happening here. And this is a 30-minute war where it's a 50-on-50 experience. And there's sort of 3 general phases to it. The attacker's end goal is to take down the claim and basically lay siege to the fort. But before they do that, they first have to control these 3 control points that are spread throughout the territory. Once they control all 3, then the attackers can try to break down the gates. And then the last step after they've broken down the gates is sort of spilling into the fort itself and trying to take control of the central claim flag in the fort. And while all this is happening, the defenders are trying to stop them from doing this. What's cool about this is you'll see right there on the screen one of these siege weapons, right? So it's a really cool blend of people on foot using melee weapons, using guns, using magic, and then these huge siege weapons trying to control space and the flow of battle also.
Yeah, man, that definitely looks like quite the weapon. I don't know that I would want to see that outside of my territory. So what kind of weapon? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what you're seeing here is someone trying to take down the weaponry. So what these siege weapons become almost sort of like mini objectives on the battlefield where the attackers can choose where to place them. So it's sort of fun to find hidden places or places where you've got a really good sightline. And then the defenders have to sort of come out and try to take them down before they do a lot of damage. So it's this cool sort of objectives and that people can put and trying to find them in a cat and mouse game around it is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, are there certain war specific weapons for the defense side or the defending faction?
Absolutely. So the defenders on top of their fort in the bastions, you'll see they have a variety of siege weapons. And some of the cooler ones that only the defenders have is this huge horn. And when it rings, it provides a buff to everyone on the defending team that makes them heal and makes them stronger. And it just creates this sort of cool visual when you hear the horn, everyone charges. It's sort of a really cool moment in war. They also have vats of hot oil that they can drop down, flaming oil, on the battlefield right under the doors. So those can be effective in combat also.
Those definitely sound very effective. So you were talking about the steps for preparing for war and how there's kind of missions or quests that maybe you need to do in order to activate or start the war. Can you kind of take us through that?
Absolutely. So there's two main elements. As the defender, one of the things you want to do is upgrade and build your fort. So as you own a territory and are trying to protect it, you can do what we call town projects, which are basically projects that the governor starts, and then anyone in the territory can contribute to the progress of that. And various projects will upgrade the strength of your walls, will upgrade the strength of your defenses. So governors can sort of choose which elements of defense they want to work on first, and then it brings together the whole territory to try to upgrade the town and get ready for war. So that's what the defenders are doing. And then, as I said, for the offensive side, it's sort of a race between the two factions to determine who gets the opportunity to go to war, because everyone wants these territories. They're highly sought after, they're limited in number, and if they're popular and well run, you can make a lot of money from them. So the opposing factions both want to take these territories, and the influence race basically is a race where both factions are doing missions. These are PvP missions, so you have to flag for PvP, which puts you at additional risk when you're doing them. And when you're flagged, you have to run these missions, and basically the side that runs the missions most efficiently and gets the most done wins the race and then has the opportunity to declare war.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Mike, now we've talked a lot about PvP. Can you tell us a little bit about the PvE elements of New World?
Sure. As Dave said, as we've been developing thing, we do have lots of quests and missions that take you out to explore elements of the world. But then we have lots of POIs that represent the different families that live on this mysterious island. So the main groups that we have are the corrupted, which are the kind of like the evil red dudes that you see everywhere that are overrunning the island, and kind of the whole mission that you're kind of undertaking is to fight back and discover what this mysterious group is all about. There's another faction known as the Lost, another one known as the Angry Earth, and all of these factions, or these families, coexist in this island, and you kind of find lore and tidbits and go on missions and quests, and then just explore the environment and different POIs, what's really going on here. And some of them are dynamic events. We have corrupted breaches, and I don't know if Dave alluded to it earlier, but we have something called invasions, where forces actually come to assault your fort and try to take down your civilization.
Jeez. Well, this is definitely not for the faint of heart. But thank you so much for walking us through that. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. But I love learning about all the nuances of War Mode. Now, when can people get their hands on this?
New World is going to be launching on August 25th, 2020. But if you want to get an early hands-on preview, if you pre-order now, you can join our closed beta on July 23rd.
Well, there you go. People don't have to wait too long. It's coming up soon. Yes.
That's right. Not too long.
Not too long. Thank you both so much for coming by. And if you want to watch more of that 50v50 War Mode Let's Play, we'll have that up on IGN.com. So make sure you check that out. And Mike and Dave, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We've got to take another quick break, but stay tuned. We're just shy of learning all about Celeste Crown of the Magister, a Dungeons & Dragons-inspired tactical RPG. And later, we're popping the hood on the Xbox Series X to see how smart delivery works.
And an ad break is a great time to donate to the Bail Project or COVID-19 Response Fund, which you can do at donate.ign.com or by following the links in the video description. By donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda, and donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X.
IGN Summer of Gaming continues right after this.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th, rated M for mature. By the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent, going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat. Welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming and IGN Expo number 4. In a little while, Tom Marks will introduce us to Dead Static Drive, an atmospheric road trip across America set 1 month before the apocalypse. But first, Solasta Crown of the Magister is a tactical combat RPG that draws heavy from Dungeons & Dragons. Damon had a chance to chat with one of the developers. Let's go check it out.
I'm Damon Hatfield, and I'm joined by Matthew Gerard. He's CEO and creative director at Tactical Adventures, and we're here to talk about and look at Solasta Crown of the Magister. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Actually, I would have loved to meet you at E3, but well, we have to adapt to the new times, so yeah. Let's adjust and do something great with you today.
Of course, that sounds amazing. Solasta is a classic tabletop RPG in video game form. Is that accurate?
I think it's pretty accurate, actually. We define ourselves as a tactical RPG, and I've been a huge fan of tabletop gaming for 30 years. My vision was really to recreate this feeling of tabletop in video games, in something very faithful to the rules of tabletop gaming. So what we see behind is the footage of the game, which we're going to release as a demo for the Steam Festival. And what's really interesting about the game is that we used the D&D 5th edition rule sets. We have a license from Wizard of the Coast. And the game is very accurate to the rule set. And people who are fans of D&D will find themselves right at home with this game, because you will find all the classical races, classes, backgrounds, powers, features that you're used to. But also, the game has its own universe called Solasta. And so we added our own races, classes, and special content.
So people that are familiar with Dungeons & Dragons should feel very familiar to them. But what about people who haven't played D&D?
Well, I would say that the 5th edition is a very good balance between simplicity and customization options. So it's not the most complex of editions. And also we have lots of tutorials and introduction sequences. And again, also the interface is really streamlined so that it's easy, natural, and fun to use.
So here I think we're seeing, we're rolling a character.
Yes, absolutely. You have the different stages of the character, race, class, lots of options. For the background, you can also customize your personality. That is at the bottom left, you can see the personality flags, which will define how the character reacts during the cutscenes. And also what is really interesting in the game is that you play a team of 4 characters, not just one, plus henchmen. So you're going to create a full party of 4 characters with complementary skills, powers, abilities. So it's really, you're going to take advantage of all the rules at the same time when building a party.
So you create your characters, create your party, but what's the sort of overall story that you're telling here?
So the story is it's an epic story of saving the world in Solasta. So Solasta is an ancient universe. In this world, the kingdom of the elves was destroyed by a cataclysm. Shortly after, the humans came from another world, another dimension. And somehow after this cataclysm, the world reconstructed, but there's some pretty bad stuff going on in the area called the Badlands. And the main goal of the player in the campaign will be to find out what's happening, which ancient evil is appearing. And so his party of 4 characters is going to meet different NPCs, monsters, dangers, strange fortresses, all of that, exploring the world of Solasta. And actually, it's one of the goals of this game is to discover the lore and the specificity of Solasta.
So I think we're seeing some combat here, and I think you've put a lot of work into making dynamic environments and also vertical environments for combat. Is that right?
Yes, because I'm a big fan of D&D rule set, and I think sometimes it was overlooked the fact of having the ability to use torches, light sources, or darkness spells, and also sometimes flying around, levitating. So we've put a huge effort in simulating a cubic world made of cubes, like Minecraft somehow, which allows us to have all these different motion mode and also lighting simulation, depriving the enemy of his senses. Even some enemies are afraid of light and it can be used as a weapon. So really the environment, it's useful. You can shove enemies from a platform, you can knock them down, you have lots of options, and it's not only using a longsword or firing a fireball. It's really a very deep turn-based, cell-based game that we built.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you can sort of knock enemies around the environment. Certain parts of the environment can be destroyed. So it seems like you're going to have a lot of options, different ways to approach combat.
And you have interactions. When you cast a burning hand spell, you're going to light torches, or you can have stuff which explodes, etc. So there's a lot of interaction between you, monsters, objects in the game, in exploration as well as in combat as well.
So the 4 characters that you create at the beginning of the game, are they in your party the entire time? So it's not a situation where as you travel around, you're meeting new people who are joining your party?
No, it's your party. So again, I want to reconvey the feeling of tabletop where you have this party of 4 characters interact together, doing the full adventure together. So if one of them dies, obviously you'll have to find a way to revive him or her. And there's lots of options to do that, but you cannot change the character because it's his or her adventure, and he has to stay with the team the full game.
Sure. So as you were mentioning, Wizards of the Coast granted you the license to use the D&D 5.1 rule set. Is that unusual? I guess I can't think of a lot of other examples of video games that are using the official rule set.
Actually, I don't know. To my knowledge, we're the only one, but I'm not sure about that. So it's a great opportunity because the SRD, the system reference documents, it's a huge PDF file of 400 pages with all the classes, spells, races, magical item, monster. It's huge. Of course, you don't have the copyright content like the universes or the heroes, but it's still a huge content.
Yeah.
And very familiar to what people are used to. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Are we seeing some sort of exploration here?
Yes, so exploration is real time in the game. So you will have your allotment of traps, magical puzzles, hidden dangers, etc. You have some looting. You can detect magic on objects, identify them. All of what you would expect in a full-fledged RPG game. Each character has its own advantages. So when you're going to inspect a strange totem or statue, the one with the highest history score is going to do the check. When you want to disarm a trap, the rogue obviously is going to be more effective. But what is really interesting in the game is that you are completely free to create the party you want. And it's actually a treat for us because if the player wants to make 4 halfling fighters for the whole game, he can. It's not the best thing he or she could do, but it's a possibility. So again, the game is reacting during the cutscene, during the combat, etc., during the exploration to whatever the party has selected to have in his party. So it's a big challenge, but actually the benefits is that when you play the game, you will have different dialogue lines or interactions with your party.
And it looks like those dynamic environments that we see in combat also apply to the exploration, where they push a rock off a ledge, created a new pathway for them, right?
Yes, and you can see on the screen spiders crawling on the walls. So obviously this is about for the monsters, but when you find some high-level spells like spider climb, you can do that yourself. So it's very cool. And it's been a nightmare, of course, for the engineers to program all the mathematics to do that. But it's super fun. And if you hit someone, it's going to fall from the wall. So there's lots of interactions and fun stuff going on because we went, I don't know, maybe like 95% in implementing the rules. Not because we're fanatics, but just because it makes a more fun game.
So the demo will be available via the Steam Festival.
Yes.
And so what does the demo include?
So the demo includes the new character creator. So with all the options to create a level 1 character. So you can play around and create all the crazy characters you want. There's several option methods to do that. So I hope it's going to appeal to all the fans. And on top of that, we also are rebooting the Kickstarter demo, which we proposed a few months ago, except it's going to have the new gameplay, new game mechanics and art and stuff. So it's almost another game and people can show our progress and see what the game can offer. So we have both the character creator and again, 1 hour of gameplay to check out.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to check out the demo. Thank you so much, Matthew. Solasta Crown of the Magister looks very cool and we look forward to learning more in the future.
So these are the ruins of Telema?
Imagine the wonders that await us inside.
Welcome back to Check Out This Game on IGN's Summer of Gaming, highlighting exciting, under-the-radar games worth your attention. This next one is called Dead Static Drive, a survival adventure game about driving, scavenging, and fighting your way through a world full of nightmarish monsters. Here's some exclusive new gameplay.
You just watched an interview on Solasta, Crown of the Magister, and then Tom told us all about Dead Static Drive. Later on, we've got Destroy All Humans gameplay and an exclusive week-early hands-on with SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. Very long title. Another speedrun charity drive with the original SpongeBob game, Tony Hawk, the actual skater, and much, much more. Right now, Miranda Sanchez is going to tell us all about Scarlet Nexus, along with one of the game's developers, so hold on to your brains, because the others are coming. And here's Miranda to explain whatever that means.
Here to talk about Scarlet Nexus with me is game director Kenji Anabuki, producer Keita Izuka, and translator Yuji Moria. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Hey, how's it going? はい、今日はインタビューよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Thank you guys for so much. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a super exciting property. Next Gen is on the front of everyone's mind, especially mine. Like, we are so excited. And we're so excited to see more of Scarlet Nexus. So first things, let's hit it off with, what were the most exciting things to develop for Scarlet Nexus with Next Gen power in mind? Whether it were gameplay or features or just the graphics, what was the most exciting thing when you're ever developing Scarlet Nexus?
スカーレット・ネクサス、みんな楽しみにしてて、次世代コンソールも出る中でみんな、注目の作品なんですけれども、今回そのスカーレット・ネクサスの、開発において、次世代コンソールに向けた開発になったと思うんですけど、その、過程の中でなんか一番、エキサイティングだったこととか、一番楽しかったこと、その次世代コンソールに向けた開発の中で何が一番楽しかったでしょうかっていう質問です。
はい、そうですね。今回この、新規タイトルとしてスカーレット・ネクサス開発していく中でですね、やっぱりその次の世代のハードに合わせてやっぱり展開していけるっていうのは、非常にやっぱり我々としても、楽しみでありました。今まさにその、開発中ではいますけれども、やっぱりそのハードの性能を生かした形でより良いこの、RPG としての体験ですね、を提供していけるんじゃないかなと思っています。
Yeah, so we're very, very excited to be developing for this new, hardware, new specs and everything. And yeah, I think we'll be able to bring a new sort of experience of RPGs with this new console and hardware.
Okay, what are some of the most exciting features that you think will elevate RPGs with this new hardware?
具体的になんかどういった、フィーチャーとか見どころがありますでしょうか。この新しい、ハードがあるからこその、なんか表現というか体験っていうのはどこにあるんでしょうか。
やっぱりその、今回その、グラフィックの面でもですね、このアニメスタイルでありながら、高解像度で、作っていってますので、僕はこのキャラクター表現ですとか、あとはもう単純に、やはり場面の移り変わりっていうのをシームレスに体験していただけるんじゃないかなと思いますので、そういったところで、この RPG としてのストーリーへの没入感ですね、そういったところが非常に強化されてくるんじゃないかなと思います。
Yeah, so I think definitely the enhanced graphics will be something that will enhance the experience of the RPG, especially with this particular game. It has that sort of anime style artwork to it, so it'll be really interesting to see how that will play out in the new hardware. We also are looking forward to a lot of the seamless changes between scenes and cutscenes, and we're also looking forward to just the more the intensity and what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? I'm sorry. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, it's the experience will be more, realistic and more deep in that way.
Got it. So Scarlet Nexus will be available for the current generation of consoles for the Xbox One and PS4, but also for next gen. So will those versions differ in any sort of way? Or any sort of significant way, I guess?
今回その現コンソール、PS4 と PS5 両方ともリリースっていうことなんですけれども、そこの両方の違いというところはどういうところに来るんでしょうか。
そうですね。基本的にはやはり皆さんこのハードによらず、体験としては同じ体験をしていただきたいというところがベースになります。やっぱりその中でこの次世代に向けた多分
それぞれ新しいサービスとかも始まってくるかなと思いますので、それに合わせた形で、最適な形で楽しんでいただけるというところを目指して作っていってますね。
Oh, sorry. The word I forgot in the previous bit was immersion. Sorry about that. Immersiveness. Yeah, so basically for Scarlet Nexus, we want both owners of the PS4 and PS5 to have relatively the same experience in terms of the game. But we imagine that the PS5 will come with its own sort of unique services. So I think the difference will come in that regard, the interaction between the different, within the new PS5 features and services.
Okay, well, I definitely can't wait to hear what those are eventually. But Anabuki-san, so I have a question just for you. You've been involved with a few of the great games from the Tales series. What sort of similarities, if any, does Scarlet Nexus share with those?
次の質問は穴吹さんに質問なんですけれども、テイルズシリーズに関わっていたっていうことで、今回そのスカーレット・ニクサスとそのテイルズシリーズのなんかストーリーなんか同じようなところがあるとか、なんか接点とかそういったところはあるんでしょうか？
お話においてはもう完全に新しいものなので、つながりとかはないですね。はい。テイルズ・オブの、開発の知見とかはもちろん生かされているんですけど、ストーリーは全く別物で、全く別の新しいゲームとなっております。
Yeah, so this game itself, Scarlet Nexus, has no real connection story-wise to any of the Tales, RPG series, but the staff members are there. So I guess the spirit of the Tales is there, but in terms of the story or any of the world settings have no relation to each other.
Got it. So I read that this is a fast-paced action game, but there's a strategic element involved. Can you explain that a little bit?
このゲームすごいスピーディーなファーストピースなアクションゲームっていうのを聞いてるんですけれども、それかつなんかいろいろとなんか攻略性があったりとか、そういった面も濃いっていうふうに聞いたんですけど、その面についてちょっとお聞かせください。
はい、そうですね。はいはい。はい。どこまで言っていいのかな。もちろんアクションゲームとしてこだわりを持って作ってます。テイルズ・オブの開発のノウハウを活かしながら簡単操作で、かつ誰でも爽快感が得られるようなアクションになっております。かつ各回に対していろんな超能力を使いながら攻略できるってところにはこだわりを持って作らせていただいております。
Yeah, so we did put a lot of emphasis, as you mentioned, in the sort of action elements of the game, and the staff at, the guys who worked on Tales also are using the experience that they've learned from developing Tales games into developing something that is very simple, yet it really feels good. It feels crisp and intuitive in terms of the action controls. But the strategic side will come mainly in battling what's called the others in the game. So these are the main enemies that you will encounter in the game.
今回トレーラーとかではですね、今回トレーラーとかでは、この念力を使ったアクションっていうのを少しフィーチャーしてお見せしてますけれども、それがやっぱり今回のアクションの中心に来るゲームシステムになりますが、この念力でできること、動かせることっていうのが、これからちょっといろいろバリエーションをお見せしていければなと思いますので、そういったところを使いこなして敵をどんどん倒していくというところを楽しんでいただけるんじゃないかなと思います。
And then Izuka-san just added that in the trailer, there's a feature of you'll see a lot of psychokinesis and psionic abilities taking place, and that will be a big part of the action and strategy of the game. So that's something that we look forward to sharing more information as the time goes by.
Yeah, that trailer was super cool. I saw him about ready to swing a train at some enemies. That looked very neat, and I'm excited to see that in action. So when can we expect to see more of Scarlet Nexus?
これからスカーレット・ニクサスに関しての情報の展開なんですけども、これからまた次はいつ頃新情報を期待できそうですか？
そうですね。まあ、続々とこれから出していきますので、皆さんお待ちいただければと思います。はい。
We can't tell you any specific dates, but yeah, we'll be trickling down some information to you guys. So be sure to catch it when you get it.
Fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Thank you guys all so much for coming in and having this interview.
Thank you, Bruce. 今日はどうもありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。はい、
ありがとうございました。
We'll be back after a quick break with some exclusive gameplay for side-scrolling sword fighter Shing! Don't forget, the ad break is a great time to donate to the COVID-19 Response Fund and the Bail Project all summer of gaming long at donate.ign.com or by following the links in the video description. All donations go to combat the spread of COVID and reunite families in need who've been separated by mass incarceration.
And by donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. And donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X. And make sure to follow IGN on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for exclusive bonus content and to join the conversation. That's all the stuff we're going to tell you to do right now. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th. Rated M for mature. By the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent, going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game. But what if you got the opportunity to peek into the minds of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked? That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to Speedruns.
You can do that. Oh my god!
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
As promised, we are back with more IGN EXPO 4 on IGN Summer of Gaming, and we're talking all about Shing. What is Shing? Well, it's a demon-slashing beat-em-up and the sound my blade makes when it thirsts for blood. But right now we're talking about the beat-em-up. How does Shing play? Well, there's only one way to find out. Actually, there's probably a few ways, but here's the one we chose, exclusive gameplay footage.
Hi guys, Greg from Mass Creation here to give you a short gameplay breakdown of our upcoming game Shing. At first glance, Shing seems like an old school arcade beat 'em up. And well, that was the idea. But as huge fans of the genre, we played and tinkered with the formula and created a beat 'em up that's faster, more reactive, gives you a wide range of attacks, defensive moves and buffs. Seems complicated? Well, it's not, thanks to our unique control scheme. In Shing, you perform attacks with flicks and spins of the right analog stick. Yeah, that's right, the right stick. As you move the stick, your characters perform attacks that mimic that movement, giving you instant access to all sorts of attacks. From angled slashes, uppercuts and spins to aerial combos, drop attacks and special moves. Another cool feature is character switching. Using the D-pad you can switch characters at any time. They don't share health bars, so you can treat them like 4 lives at your disposal. Switching is available in co-op as well, so we can exchange characters when you play with friends. Hi there! That's right, there's drop-in, drop-out co-op for up to 4 players. Back to switching. You can use it to extend combos, revive fallen characters, or conserve buffs for later use. Right, buffs. You've probably noticed that some enemies drop glowing orbs when they die. Buffs, or power-ups, give you all kinds of extra abilities, both passive and active. These abilities are designed not only to increase the on-screen mayhem, but to give you extra tactical options you can use to counter all kinds of enemy skills. Talking about skilled enemies, here's a perfect example. Fencer will punish players who are too passive or too predictable. To break his guard, you need to mix up your attacks, quickly react to his counterattacks, and respect the rules of one-on-one duel, because he will punish anyone who tries to interfere. Throughout your adventure, you will encounter all kinds of enemies with different skills, each with multiple ways to defeat them. It's a perfect opportunity to talk about something that almost never exists in beat 'em ups: defense. Best defense is good offense. Doesn't always apply in Shing. Sometimes the best offense is good defense. You can block and parry incoming attacks. Blocking is easier, but your guard can break if you take too many hits. Parrying requires good timing, but a successful parry will negate all damage and unleash a powerful counterattack. Or, if you parry projectiles, fireballs, arrows or grenades, a parry will send them back to where they came from. Those returned projectiles can deal extra damage, break shields or send whole groups of enemies flying, opening them up for juggle combos. And all that in cool anime-inspired graphics with tons of slick animations and special effects. All the technical tricks we had to pull off to achieve that OG arcade feel of the visuals are huge subjects for another time. Instead, let's talk about another important ingredient of any good beat 'em up: music. Good beat 'em up soundtrack not only gives each stage a unique mood, but most importantly gets you in the right rhythm during the fight. With good music, beat 'em ups can feel like rhythm games. There's this magical moment when you start attacking to the beat and realize that you're dancing with your enemies. What else? Cool characters? Check. Cheesy one-liners and bad jokes? Check. Environment storytelling? Check. Bosses? Oh yeah, bosses. You may have noticed a shadow lurking in the background watching our heroes every step of the way. Like in every good drama, it foretells a big event that is about to happen. But before that, let's take a short detour. Throughout the stages, you will encounter all sorts of interactive doors. These will take you to optional challenge rooms, which will test your skills in various ultra-hard scenarios. Or they might lead to so-called lore rooms, where you can spend some time with the characters and get to know them better or learn something about the world they live in. And the boss. Shing's stage bosses are the summary of the level. Like an exam at the end of the school year. They test everything you've learned so far, and each one is unique. So, if you're looking for a fast-paced, intense beat-em-up action to play solo or with friends, Shing is your game. Thanks for watching, Greg signing off.
Not today.
You're watching IGN Summer of Gaming. Later on, we've got a SpongeBob stream and a look into Xbox Smart Delivery, plus an interview with Tony Hawk at the end of the day. But right now, some info on the Forgotten City.
The Forgotten City started out as a Skyrim mod before becoming so popular that the developers decided to spin it off as a brand new game of its own. Here's Max and one of the developers to take a tour of the Forgotten City.
The Forgotten City began as a Skyrim mod, which won awards and was downloaded millions of times, and now it is becoming a standalone game. Here to tell us about it from Modern Story, we have writer and studio director Nick Pierce. Nick, welcome.
Hi, how's it going?
Going just fine. The Forgotten City has been in the works for quite some time. It is a narrative, interactive, explorable world. Can you just kind of give us the explanation of what's going on here?
Sure. So it's an open world murder mystery caught. It's set in an ancient Roman city caught in a time loop. And as you say, it's a standalone reimagining of a mod that won a National Writers Guild Award and racked up millions of downloads. In it, the player discovers the ruins of an ancient Roman city, travels back in time 2,000 years, and investigates what caused it and tries to stop the city's destruction.
Now, can you give us a little bit of a kind of a guide or an idea of what the gameplay is like? Is it predominantly just sort of talking to people, or is it solving puzzles? Is there any combat?
Sure. So there's all of that. So predominantly it's a murder mystery. So the player will be doing a lot of investigation and exploration and talking to people. The dialogue has lots of branching narrative and opportunities to role play, and then of course there are puzzle and combat elements as well. Although certainly the focus is on investigation and exploration.
Now, obviously, a murder mystery has a certain amount of sort of twists and turns to it. Can you talk a little bit about how much the standalone game might differ from the mod for anybody who might have played the original and is?
I think that every aspect of the game has been leveled up. So it has a new setting, a new engine. We're using Unreal. It has new twists and story beats and endings. It has more endings than the original one. So there are at least 4 new endings, or 4 endings in total. It also has a new orchestral score, new professional voice acting, new animations, and new gameplay mechanics. So I think the feedback we've got from testers so far is that it just feels like a whole new game. So we've taken the best elements from the original and the best characters, and we've sort of just woven them into a wonderful new experience for people who enjoyed the mod to enjoy all over again.
Now, this project began as something that was pretty much just you and one other person. Is that right?
So it was just me. Well, the mod was entirely my doing with the help of a composer and some voice actors. This time around, I've sort of built up the team a bit with the help of Film Victoria and Epic. So we've got a core team of 4 people. So yeah, the production values are, I think, much higher than the mod. Though we're still a very small team. We're just trying to punch above our weight with what we've got.
Can you speak a little bit about the historical accuracy? I feel like you've got an impressive bookshelf behind you. How much of how strictly rooted in ancient Rome is this, and how many liberties did you take?
It's a good question. So we have engaged the services of a wonderful historical consultant. I'm not quite ready to talk about him just yet, but I will say that he is an Oxford scholar. He teaches at Cambridge, and he has been wonderfully helpful in helping us try to create a really historically authentic world to the extent that that's allowed by the story. Obviously, there's time travel involved and aspects of mythology, so certainly not historically accurate, but in terms of the environment and the costumes and the character backstories, we're aiming for historical authenticity.
Now, obviously, you have a lot of freedom when you're, building something completely from the ground up, and it's not, modifying something. Was there anything you were particularly excited about being able to do and having the sort of the freedom to put into the game that you would have liked to have around the first time around? That's now here in the standalone.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I like to think of the game as, the story we always wanted to tell for exactly that reason, because we're able to do things with Unreal Engine that I couldn't have dreamed of with a mod. And I also like to think that making a new game as opposed to making a mod is a bit like building a house as opposed to putting an extension on an existing house. You just have, there's so much more to do, and it requires an enormous amount of work, but at the same time you have, much more creative freedom. And so, one of the gameplay mechanics that we've built is around the golden rule. So I have to explain it a little bit. The backstory is that in the city, if anyone commits a sin, everybody dies. And so that was the case in the mod. It's the case of the game. Although in the game we call it the golden rule. And so what happens is that when somebody commits a sin, the earth rumbles and a great booming voice bellows out, and the lighting changes, and all these golden statues come to life and start firing golden bows at people. And so what happens when a person is hit with a golden bow or a golden arrow is that gold sort of creeps over their skin, and they slowly sort of melt into a golden statue. It's a really cool effect, and you've got to see it. And that's something that we could never have done without Unreal Engine. In fact, when I said to my programmer that that's what I wanted to do, I really didn't think it was going to be possible. But he just looked at me and said, "Yeah, we can do that." And so it was done within a day. It's very cool.
That's awesome. Now we've seen a lot of people. I mean, obviously the modding community is huge. We've seen games that let people make games, like Mario Maker, Dreams, for instance. Do you have any advice for people who are getting their feet wet, building a game within another game, who might eventually want to break that out and create a game of their own separately? Do you have any tips from your experience you could pass on?
Good question. Look, I think. I'd say if you're serious about turning your idea into a standalone game, it is an extremely difficult path. I've been very fortunate in that I've had assistance from Film Victoria, a state government arts body, and also Epic. Epic gave us a grant which helped us going. When you're developing an indie game, it's a little bit like one of those levels of Mario where you're running along and the platform is disintegrating beneath you, and you've just got to keep going fast enough that you can kind of find safe ground. It's a lot like that, and Epic's funding, gave us the ground that we needed to get to where we are and eventually land a publishing deal. So look, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's extremely risky, but certainly from my perspective, it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done to make a game. It's a dream come true for me. So I'd say, if that's something that you're interested in doing, you should do your best to act professionally from the very beginning. I think the modding community is a wonderful engine of creativity, but I think sometimes it can be, it can lack a bit of polish. So I think if you are serious about turning your mod into a standalone game, then you should try to act professionally from the very beginning. Try to get as much coverage as you can, and then take it from there.
Nice. Well, the good news is the end is in sight, and the Forgotten City is coming out very soon. Do you have a release date yet, or a window?
Yeah, so the window is winter 2020. It's coming to PC and Xbox.
Nick, thank you so much for the grand tour of the Forgotten City. We're all looking forward to checking it out in the near future. Thanks so much.
Complete strangers brought together by the fates to live out our days in a paradise we can never leave.
Welcome back to Check Out This Game on IGN's Summer of Gaming, highlighting exciting, under-the-radar games worth your attention. This next one is particularly exciting for me because it's basically what happens when you take a turn-based, Earthbound-inspired RPG and somehow make that even weirder. Take a look at some exclusive gameplay of Knuckle Sandwich. Like what you see? Then head on over to IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN to watch the full extended version of this gameplay.
Thanks for rocking with us here at IGN Summer of Gaming. Follow us on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag. Watch us on channel IGN1 on your Samsung TV Plus. Leave us a yappa. Yap, yap, yap. Donate at donate.ign.com. All of that. And while you do, we'll keep things rolling. See, it was a joke. It was a joke with a payoff. With Recompile and an upcoming 3D Metroidvania with hints of Tron, Cyberpunk, and some classic platforming action thrown in. Damon got a chance to chat with one of the developers about it, so let's take a look.
Welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming. I'm Damon Hatfield, and now I'm joined by Fee from Fee Games to talk about Recompile. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How's it going, Damon?
It's great. So Recompile looks very cool. This is a 3D Metroidvania game that takes place inside a computer. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's right. It's a virtual world, kind of inspired by kind of sci-fi films like Tron and like old TV series like Reboot. I really wanted to make a game about a virtual world where you're kind of stuck inside a computer. So that's kind of the setting for it.
Right. And we are actually a virus that's sort of infiltrating the network?
Yeah, correct. So you're a computer virus, and you've been installed into this mysterious computer system. You don't really know what the purpose of the computer is, or why you're there, or what exactly you're there to infect. And that's kind of the journey that you'll be discovering as you play the game.
And we are almost immediately discovered by this sort of floating Death Star-ish orb. What can you tell us about that character?
That's basically the game's antagonist.
Gotcha.
It's called the Hypervisor. And so the Hypervisor essentially is it's a program that's created by humans there to maintain the system, but it's been abandoned for decades. But because the time runs a lot faster inside a computer because of CPU cycles and stuff, obviously, the Hypervisor's kind of been left there alone for thousands of years, and so he's really surprised seeing you in the kind of shape of a human. Yeah.
So talk about our character. I think you've described it as the character is only made up of effects.
Yeah. So the character design. I mean, we never had a character designer when we first prototyped the game, but my business partner, he's a VFX artist and animator. So we decided, why not make a character just purely out of VFX and see what happens? And we did. And we posted it on Twitter, and it got 12,000 likes. And it was from that point we were like, okay, I guess we're making this game.
Yeah, well, it makes for a very unique looking character to control.
Thank you.
What's up with the sort of vibrating backgrounds? Is that just part to show us that? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's to show that part of the world is corrupted, but also as you kind of explore the world, the vibrating meshes, if you like, start to build up and collapse into the actual level geometry, and that's to kind of tell you like you're there to perhaps decorrupt the world, and it's a good way of showing where you've been and where you haven't as well.
Interesting. So this being a Metroidvania game, you are legally required to include a double jump, and I think that's what we just received right here. Is that correct?
Yeah, there we go. So we have the typical Metroidvania abilities, but there's also a few unique ones in there as well, which we're really proud of.
I believe you said the inspiration for this world was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Could you explain how so?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be completely, honest with you. It's a big inspiration for the game. I really love the kind of emergent mechanics of gameplay, and we want to recreate that in WuCompile as well. One of the main mechanics in the game is the ability to hack everything, and we hope that players will find solutions to puzzles that even the developers haven't thought of ourselves. So that would be interesting to see.
And what was that we just saw? Sort of the lights that were wrapping around that tube.
So that's it's what's called the logic gate circuit. So the entire world is kind of powered by these dynamic logic gates, and everything is completely systemic. So we don't hard code anything in the game. There's no code that says if you press this button a door will open. It's all connected via these logic gates, and that's what makes the world so hackable as well.
And it looks like we're getting another power here. I think a little bit ago, there's a lot of platforming, there's a lot of verticality to this world, but it looks like we took a little bit of fall damage a few minutes ago. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good way of stopping the player from exploring too much too early on.
Sure.
But also the fall damage kind of scales as you progress through the game. So eventually, if you can imagine, you'll be able to explore the entire of the vertical world, depending on what abilities you have.
So now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. What do we need to know about this? It looks like, do we have infinite ammo?
So in this kind of footage, there is infinite ammo, just to keep things simple. But there are kind of forms of currency or resources in the game that you collect called bits, and you need to harvest them. And we use those for hacking, for other powerful abilities, and ammo as well. So there will be some kind of resource management and choices to make there.
Interesting. Are we actually looking at like the opening moments of the game?
So this is kind of a hybrid between what we think would be very similar to the opening of the game and a kind of a vertical slice that we like to show to kind of the public if they're interested in the game. It's also something that we would like to show at events as well. Obviously, physical events are few and far between these days, but this was originally the plan for it. Yeah.
And speak to what's happening here. It looks like these flying devices were blocking somewhere we need to get to. Is that right?
Yeah, so they're sitting on these kind of switches. So part of the kind of puzzle solving the game is you learn to not only activate a switch, but also to deactivate them as well based on what logic is powering the circuit. So for example, there's 3 switches and they all need to be unpressed in order to gain the next ability, which you'll see here.
Let's see what ability this is. Oh, I think I know. I think we also saw some slowing down time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that? But I haven't seen us get that ability.
No, it's just something that I like to include in videos because it looks nice. It shows off the combat really well. But we do have a time hack ability in the game, and that is allows the player to improve the precision on aiming as well as other kind of time related puzzles as well.
I see. So yeah, that last power we got was the dash. So in like under 8 minutes, we've already gotten 3 new powers here. But I think, as you were saying, this is sort of a truncated demo, right? The actual game won't move quite this quickly.
No, I mean it's a full Metroidvania game. There's some real pacing to it, so we wouldn't get 10 abilities in 10 minutes. But for this demonstration today, I just wanted to show how cool some of the abilities look and how fun to play. The dash actually you can use for combat as well. So if you kind of dash into enemies, you can destroy them.
And I think you've said before, you want to be the first ever Metroidvania that has branching narrative. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, sure. So plenty of Metroidvanias that I've played are all pretty linear in the way that you have to collect ability A, B, C to progress through the game. So we wanted to support like multiple play styles, whether you like combat or traversal or hacking. And the depending on which abilities that you choose to get, gives you options on what route to take throughout the world, and then ultimately that will give the player a reason to change the narrative of the game as well. So the idea of Recompile is you're there to help create the first sentient AI, but what kind of AI you create depends on how you play. So if you're an aggressive player, you can imagine what kind of AI you would be creating at the end.
Well, I think Recompile looks really cool. I can't wait to play it. What is the release plan?
So we are currently in the final stages of polishing and fixing bugs, and then we are planning to release the game on PC and Steam at the end of the year, holiday season, and we're also looking at opportunities with next-gen consoles as well, but we currently don't have anything to announce today.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for IGN Summer of Gaming. Recompile looks awesome.
Thank you very much, and yeah, thanks for having me.
That was Recompile, and now our producer is asking us to use that as a segue to recompile our social and charity information. I'm very sorry. Here goes. Don't forget, you can follow IGN on TikTok and search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for exclusive bonus content and to upload your own gameplay clips.
And all Summer of Gaming long, we're asking you to donate to the World Health Organization and Bail Project by following the links in the video description. By donating, you'll have a chance to win codes for games like Resident Evil 3 or swag from companies like Bethesda. Donors who give more than $50 will have a chance to win a custom Summer of Gaming Xbox One X.
Not bad. Now it's time for a quick break, but when we return, we've got a whole bunch of games from Humble Bundle and exclusive gameplay from Core Punk, plus more from SpongeBob later on. Stay tuned.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by The Last of Us Part 2, available June 19th, rated M for mature. By the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID pandemic to deliver food, build hospitals, and more. Go to nationalguard.com/esports for more info. And by Fuser, who will be partying with us all summer long.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game. But what if you got the opportunity to peek into the minds of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked? That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to Speedruns.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh my god!
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
Welcome back. A little later, we'll have a SpongeBob Rehydrated Let's Play. But next up, here's the latest from our pals over at Humble Bundle, plus never-before-seen gameplay from Core Punk, a promising new top-down MMO RPG.
I'm joined today by Eugene Kiver. Thanks for talking with us. So let's start with the most basic of basic questions. What is Corepunk? What is this game you guys are working on?
In a nutshell, Corepunk is a top-down MMORPG in a vast, seamless open world with fog of war. Like initially, we thought we really wanted to have this experience of playing with fog of war in an open world, and we weren't able to find any other place, so we decided to build this game.
And this is like a traditional MMO, right? Like this will be a large explorable world.
Lately, there's a lot of instance-based games and session-based games, and there's not a lot of like classic MMOs. I mean, where you can meet thousands of people in persistent world. So yeah, that's pretty traditional MMORPG.
And you mentioned it already, but this was something I did want to talk about, which was the fog of war specifically. You know, fog of war is something we usually see in stuff like RTSs, that sort of thing, not really like MMO. What is why was it important to you to include this? Why did you want to see an MMO with Fog of War like this? And kind of what does it bring to Core Punk?
Well, it creates a lot of these encounters that you would not expect to get in a game where you see like 4 kilometers in front of you. You don't know what awaits you behind the next corner. Like what will happen? You can meet a foe. You can get into the fight because we have this open world PvP, so you can get attacked anywhere in the world, or you can create these ambushes on other people, or you can meet a friend who you can meet someone in the forest. You chat to him and become friends for a very long time. You don't know what awaits to you.
And let's talk about some of those environments that you'll be discovering under Fog of War too, because you just mentioned one is like something I noticed back when your gameplay reveal trailer back in December, I believe it was. There's a ton of visual variety in this game. You know, it's one moment you're looking at like steampunk style trains, another moment you're in like a neon cyberpunk city, and then another you're in more of a traditional, fantasy based MMO forest fighting creatures. So like what are some of the themes you'll see in Core Punk?
Yeah, actually the trailer was kind of packed with all these environments. So yeah, in an actual game they are much more spread out all in the world. But there's 4 basic cultures and themes we wanted to see in Core Punk. That's monopunk, which like fantasy basically, this cyberpunk, steampunk, and post-apocalyptic dieselpunk. So, but there are cities of these cultures are really like far apart, so they're not be like blended in one city, but there's kind of eclectic. There's a lot of mix of cultures in a game.
And that was like an explicit goal, was to just sort of focus around. I mean, I know the name is Core Punk, so it was really to kind of go around these different sort of punky ideas.
Yeah, at some point we just realized that there's a lot of punk styles in a game, and this world of Core Punk, its lore is that it is like a cradle of life, and basically it's just a core for everything. So we decided to just call it Core Punk. And
switching to the actual meat of the game, the actual things like combat, classes, how does Core Punk handle sort of the more like a traditional MMO class system, something like that?
We have 4 archetypes. Those are tank, heal, damage dealer, and support. Support is getting much more attention lately in session-based games, so we're fans of that archetype too, so we decided to add this class. And in terms of how you would select your class, we have 12 heroes and 6 that we are focusing on to bring into closed beta. And each hero has 3 weapon masteries, and basically each weapon mastery is your class. So yeah, that's how it works.
So there's 12 heroes, each with 3 weapon masteries. So that's a lot of kind of choice in sort of how you decide to bring your character.
Yes, that's a lot. But like, for example, you can be like, not all classes are in one character, right? There's just only 3 weapon masters, but basically kind of weapon you can use with that hero. And you can switch between them and upgrade them. Yeah, but there's a lot of like distinct fighting styles in a game with that many characters and 3 masteries each. Yeah.
So I gotta ask, if there's like a healing archetype and a support archetype, how do the 2 differ? Because a lot of times those 2 are sort of interchangeably used.
Yeah, but support is more about controls, helping people, and like if you're in a raid, your primary goal is to heal, but support can stop someone, can help you, so it's just more diversity is more diverse. Yeah,
a lot more utility, more than just straight up keeping people alive. Cool.
Yeah.
What about the combat specifically too? Because in some of the gameplay you've already shown off, and it's you've got a lot of like big red circles that you have to dodge out of the way of, that sort of thing. It seems very action packed, very kind of dynamic, rather than just right click and take your hands off of the controls and be done.
Yeah, like in a lot of MMOs, you get to the cap level and you're not interested in an open world anymore. So there's just mobs that are staying like at some spots, and you just hit everything you have, like spawn all your abilities, and you kill them. And we really wanted to make this part of the game interesting to higher level players. So each camp, it consists of different mobs, and they get rearranged each time you kill them off. So they actually work together. Some of them keep distance to like range type. Some of them will heal other parts of that camp. So they're help and they cooperate. And you have to move, and we really wanted to make it like a part of the game because it's much more interesting.
And so that also sounds like enemy variety is kind of, or enemy variety and also enemy behavior is pretty important in that. Can you tell me a little bit kind of how you're tackling enemies and the things you'll actually be going up against?
Some enemies can have different abilities every time they're spawned. So like, for example, a zombie, for example, it can, after you kill him, it will explode, for example, and you did not expected that from him. So some will like use like for example freeze you and they'll give levers to other like mobs to attack you while you're frozen. So they're different every time. You usually don't know what you have to adjust your tactics every time. Every time you meet a camp, you need to think about whether you have to. How would you approach it?
And what about, I know this is early since you guys aren't even in beta yet, so it's sort of maybe jumping the gun a little bit to talk about this, but you mentioned sort of like in some other MMOs, these mobs just sort of like being there for high level players. What do you guys imagine the end game of Warpunk looks like? Are you going to have these giant raids? Are you going to expect people to go into PvP? How do you hope for like dedicated players to be engaging with it for a long time?
Yeah, that's actually a problem for a lot of modern MMOs, that they have too much of too little, basically, of high-end content. Basically, 40% of our game is for you to get to the cap level, and after that, 60% of the game is high-level content, and it's open world. It's like vast wilderness where you can find like rare monsters, rare world bosses. That's dungeons, that's randomly generated dungeons and custom dungeons. There's also raids and arenas, battlegrounds, just plenty of things to do, basically.
Well, great. Eugene, thank you so much for joining us, telling us all about Warpunk. It was a pleasure to have you on.
We are nearing the end of our 4th IGN Expo, but there's plenty of great Summer of Gaming content to come. Today alone, we'll have a special Xbox One X update and an exclusive SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated Let's Play.
Not to mention our Animal Crossing charity stream tomorrow, where our pal Brian Altano will be touring a bunch of celebrity islands in Animal Crossing New Horizons. You can catch it wherever you stream IGN or on channel IGN1 on your Samsung TV Plus. All right, let's end Expo 4 strong. What's on deck?
Destroy All Humans, the game, not the directive. Destroy All Humans abducted its way into fans' hearts with a zany style and chaotic alien invasion-themed mayhem. It's now been completely rebuilt from the ground up for modern platforms. Let's check it out.
Destroy All Humans is the upcoming open-world sci-fi action-adventure reboot of the classic 2005 game, and I can't wait to learn more about it, so here to help me do just that is Dennis Schleifer and Stefan Schmitz from Black Forest Games. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hello.
It's good to see you. So we have been tracking this game for a long time here at IGN. Big fans, me particularly, because I think this does a really good job of sort of fusing comedy and chaos, which is two of my favorite genres in all of life. And so we saw this game, you know, you were showing it off around the convention cycle last year. What's new this time around? Like what are the sort of the new additions that you guys are kind of proud of here?
I mean, the first thing that is new that we have a release date, so it's coming out on 28th of July. So many people were waiting for this. And of course, we now have done the whole production and kind of can tell you a bit more about the changes we did to the original and what we kept. And I think Stefan, as our assistant creative director, might be best to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Largely the development since we showed it off last time, I think it was at E3 last year, was that we applied a very strong level of polish to everything. The VFX look more crisp right now. The gameplay was now smoothed. We took actually some feedback that we got from earlier interviews and from fans when we showed off a few things in our trailers, and improved a bit on our PK system. It's now really fun to just toss around things and make them exactly land where you want them to land. Also a few of the additions that are very apparent is, for example, how we let the synergies between weapons and psi abilities work together. For example, with the Iron Detonator, Crypto's signature grenade-throwing weapon was an extremely nice detonation and disintegration factor to it. If you toss a grenade, if you shoot a grenade with that thing, and you pick it immediately up with PK afterwards, you can basically fling it and toss it like a dart, or it feels more like a rocket launcher when you use PK on it. So essentially you turn one weapon into two different weapons by just trying out to fiddle around with your psychokinetic abilities around it.
So that's a big part of this, is sort of combining systems to create mayhem. And they make there's a lot of open world games where you are rebuilding things or bringing people together, doing objectives that are sort of a little bit more peaceful. This is obviously just about destruction. It's literally in the title of the game. So how is it to sort of nail that feeling of just pure mayhem? Like what's the most important thing to get right when you want players to really get in there and just wreck shop?
I think, yeah, you go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest focus was the controls of the game. We wanted the player to always feel in control and to always know what he has to do to achieve the kind of destruction he wants to achieve. So we spent a lot of time optimizing and then looking also at later installments of the original games, how they already found solutions for control, let's say issues or criticism that people had for the first game. So we took all into consideration and to really focus on smooth controls and a fluid gameplay. So that was one of, yeah.
Now, like in terms of traversal, I think what I really dig about this game that's super cool to me is the sort of the platforming feel of it. It's, it almost feels grounded in traditional platformers, which obviously the original game kind of came out right at the tail end of that kind of renaissance of 3D platforming games. Tell me a little about traversal, because we're obviously seeing, jetpacking, double jumping. It looks like almost rocket shoes. Like there's a lot of really cool ways to get around in this game.
Yeah, what we were looking at when we started the development of the game is we were looking not only at Destroy All Humans 1, but also the whole series as a whole. And one thing that was very apparent to us when we looked at Destroy All Humans 1 and 2 is essentially this power fantasy of being that the alien invader, and how much fun it is to essentially domineer your foes with these fun powers. And we had the feeling to actually build up upon them, make the jetpack, which is one of the most signature things, feel fast, powerful, and really cool to use. As you can see here right now in the example, all this zipping around, which you then can switch into a focus mode when you play with a gamepad to essentially sail around enemies. It makes it feel really fast paced, but you're totally in control about that. And to play on top of that and put it into a modern sense, in a modern setting of modes of locomotion and transportation, we added an additional dash, which is also doubling as an evasive ability if you're under fire, and the skate ability, which is an upgrade you can simply attach to crypto and go like skating on this kind of psi hover cushion while you either enjoy the view or try to get fast from A to B.
God, I love it. I love it so much. This is exactly kind of what I look for in open world games, right? It's this sort of ability to just kind of approach things however I want. We saw an objective earlier that was basically like kill a human with a car, which you've done now several times during the length of this gameplay. What are some of your sort of like favorite weird objectives in this game, like the really crazy ones, without spoiling too much?
Stefan, I think you.
I think my favorite is right from Turnip Seed Farm. Essentially, you have two additional objectives. One of them is, kill those bovine creatures which are not reacting to the Furon invaders. And you go, okay, drown a cow in the lake. Let's try this. PK and go ploof. That's the one. And the second one is, Martha Turnipseed is still around when you have to kill the cops. So kill her with a chicken. With a chicken? Oh boy, chickens are deadly throwing weapons. I love it so much.
Oh, that is so awesome to hear. I wanted to ask about that too, because it's sort of, not about chickens, although we can always talk about chickens, but
Sure.
the chickens are sort of a classic comedy trope, and comedy is pretty tough in video games because comedy is about timing. And in this game, I'm like cackling and laughing almost the entire time because of a lot of the it's sort of almost vintage kind of Looney Tunes-esque comedy in this game. When you zap a car, it jiggles, and then you electrocute somebody and you see their whole skeleton. What were some of your sort of comedy influences for this game, and how do you get comedy right in a video game?
I mean, the great thing we had great material to work with. The whole storyline, the voiceovers, the way the voiceovers were done, already kind of inspired the whole team to find more in that area. So, and you're absolutely right. It's a lot about timing. It's a lot about how it actually looks. Then, I mean, for example, there was a long discussion what art style we should go for. Should we go for a bit more realistic? Should we go for the art style that we then chose now, which is a bit more cartoony? And the humor was one of the main aspects why we decided to go for a bit more cartoony style, since I think it lends itself better to make the game fun and not too serious. I mean, it's a game about destroying all humans, and if you would have done this, in a super realistic style, I don't know if it would have had the same charm as it does now.
Now, the vehicular combat is amazing. I love the absolute destruction that's happening right now. Tell me about some of the weapons there. We just saw, is this just basically like a massive laser beam flamethrower that can do graffiti on the ground?
That weapon is. Yep. You go first.
I mean, the name says it all. It's a death ray, and that's what its job is. So what we added is that you can also, shoot just downwards from UFO instead of just forwards, just to kind of go with the whole UFO trope a bit more. So that's the main weapon you have from the beginning. But you also have then the quantum deconstructor and the sonic boom. I hope I said the right ones now. Stefan, correct me if I didn't.
Quantum deconstructor and sonic boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, you occasionally feel bad about what you're doing here, I imagine, but ultimately, like, you are playing sort of as the bad guy, but there's a motivation there, right? Like, it's not just pure chaos, or am I inventing that? Is this dude just ready to just wreck shop?
No. The Furons have a mission. The Furons are on Earth to collect Furon DNA that has been intermingled with the human DNA a long time ago when sailors, so to say, from the Furens were on shore leave on Earth and did what sailors do then. And so the Furen race, as they as they clone themselves, and this degrades their DNA, they're at the point where their DNA is not strong enough anymore. So they need this fresh, old kind of Furen DNA, and that's their mission. That's the main reason why they're on Earth.
Yeah, I love that.
So
also,
while saving a race.
Oh no, that's great. While you're saving a race while you're destroying sort of like a classic donut shop, which I like. I was wondering how that building particularly would explode, and seeing the donut just soar into the air and land back in the fire is just like, it warms my heart. I mean, it breaks my heart too because I love donuts. But how much fun are you guys having just sort of deciding how you want things to explode, and the physics in which certain parts break off and things burst into flames and stuff like that? Because it seems like you're having a blast.
Absolutely, it is a blast. But as with games development, this is a lot of meetings, a lot of sitting together and thinking about how can we transport it, how can we stay true to the identity of this game and kind of ramp it a bit up to 11, but not too much. So we try with our designs and our implementations to find the sweet spot really that is kind of complementing the original game, but on the other hand feels so natural. Like Dennis has always coined the phrase for us. We're not making a remake of the original game. We're making a remake of the memories players have of that game. And I think we did a great job with that.
So one really important aspect to get the humor right in the game is to actually give the animators and the technical artists the freedom to make choices and to see how they can actually infuse humor in the work they're doing at that moment. And that was one really important thing that we made sure our team had.
No, I love it. No, thank you guys so much. I think this is the kind of game the world needs right now. It's a little bit of chaos that we can actually take control of ourselves. Thank you guys so much. Destroy All Humans is out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia on July 28th, which is incredibly soon. I'm very excited for it.
All right, thanks so much. We look forward to hearing more about Destroy All Humans in the future.
I can't believe it. That's it for IGN Expo number 4. We are done. That is all the games that anyone will ever make or talk about, and yet somehow IGN Summer of Gaming continues. After the break, we'll have a very deep dive into SpongeBob SquarePants, The Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. That title is too long. And then keep an eye out for more charity speedruns, our Celebrity Animal Crossing Island Tour stream on June 16th, and plenty of other stuff coming up.
There's also our special Xbox Series X Smart Delivery update, Chad Michael Collins guesting on tomorrow's news, games, and more, our interview with Tony Hawk at the end of the day today. We pulled out every stop we could find, and we're hoping you'll do the same when it comes to donating to our 2 great causes, the COVID-19 Relief Fund and the Bail Project. You can do that by following the links in the video description or head on over to donate.ign.com.
Visit IGN for the full schedule, and for even more Summer of Gaming goodness, download the TikTok app, follow IGN, and search for IGN's Summer of Gaming hashtag, where you can watch along with live events and submit your own Summer of Gaming moments, reactions, and plays. Or leave us a Yappa video comment at IGN.com, and your Yap could show up on the stream.
For now, we've got an exclusive interview with Jason Arnold from Team Xbox breaking down smart delivery on the Series X, and right after that, we'll hop over to Bikini Bottom with Miranda and Akeem.
All of that right after the break. See you next time, and thanks for watching.
IGN Summer of Gaming is presented by the Army National Guard, working in our communities throughout the COVID